Hello! Uh, CL, BB, I don't have music at the start of my streams. After I got copyrighted for self-imposed music. Self-composed music, sorry. Yeah. To prevent that happening again, I just don't have music at the start of my streams anymore. I haven't done that in months. Maybe over a year. But yes, hello. Finally, we can get around to playing this game. Which, I don't know why I was surprised to see that it has a mature rating on it. That kind of threw me off. I think it's because it does genuinely have, like, death and, well, multiple deaths. Some more gruesome than others. I don't remember if it has swearing or not. It might. I normally miss the start, I'm sorry. It's fine. Yeah, after I got copyrighted for more than one of the pieces that I had been using for months. It normally does when I'm here. Yeah, after I got copyright strikes for... It wasn't like there's a strike against my channel, but it was like a warning thing. But after I got, like, multiple for different self-composed music pieces that didn't even have, like, lyrics or anything, it was just tune, I made the decision to stop playing music at the start of stream. Just because, like, my anxiety is bad enough without YouTube and Twitch trying to give me heart attacks with the VODs. So, fun. Although I don't know where you're getting the music from in the past couple streams. It's a little confusing. I tend to use NSP since their music is free to use for stream. Yeah, but, like, I'm not comfortable linking, like, my Spotify to OBS. I just... no. And I don't think my laptop would like if I opened up Opera at the same time. Opera GX. It's a bit funky about that sometimes. It's a window capture, but fair. Yeah, well, you have the obelisk. I have a laptop that is a couple of years old, and is a grumpy old man at this point. If I can reduce the amount of stuff going at any given point, I will. At any given time, the lowest amount of stuff I have running is 3 programs. OBS, VRTube, and whatever game I'm playing. And I'd rather not try to explode my CPU by adding another thing into the mix. It already complains massively when I'm streaming. It does not like it. But, yeah. It's a preference now. Just because I don't want to risk it at all. I'm aware that NSP, because I've been in your streams at the very, very beginning, I'm aware that NSP isn't something that gets copy striked, but I still don't want to. Also because NSP is not even close to the vibe that I give. I don't listen to NSP. So, either way. We do have a little visitor. She is curled up on my bed, like a pillow. She's snoozing hard. You okay there, honey? Yeah, she out like a light. She could not give less of a fuck right now. Which is fair. We respect it. She looks so cozy. Which is not exactly surprising, but at the same time, the house has been fucking cold. There's a minor issue with our house, with where the thermostats are versus where the heat goes. Downstairs one is in the central hallway. Upstairs one is in my parents' room that's directly above the kitchen, so if anyone cooks or bakes or whatever else, the heat rises into my parents' room, where the thermostat is, means the heating doesn't go on, because their room's warm, so it means the rest of the house must be warm. Not the case. My skinny stick ass is currently wearing multiple layers, and my hands and feet have been like ice cubes for the last couple of days. I am currently wearing fingerless gloves at the moment because I can only stand the tips of my fingers being cold, because if I have to touch something with entire ice hands, I will turn not only myself but everyone else into Elsa's ice sculptures. I will become the Ice Queen. I don't know if it's a genetic thing, or if it's a me thing, if it's something else. Because I get cold hands fairly easily. I mean, I can have warm hands. I've had that before. I have my mother's thing of my hands and feet are nearly always cold. They are icy. However, I have my father's thing of everything else on my body radiates heat. I am a walking human radiator. CL, you know this. You've cuddled with me. You know this. I am extremely warm. But my hands and feet are cold as fuck. If all of me is pink, my hands and feet are blue. In terms of, like, warmth. Because I radiate heat despite being skinny as fuck. I think it's because the heat doesn't have multiple layers of fat or muscle to go through. It's just me. Built like a stick figure. God damn. Cammy's yelling so loud my mic's picking it up. Saw that. I have to have the door open whenever Hope's in here. Just for her safety. Because I don't like shutting her in here. Because it also means if she ends up leaving, I have to get up and close the door. So forgive if you hear the dog barking. She's a nuisance. She's a little shit and she knows it. Okay. There we go. Gotta attach my Bluetooth headphones. Here's the great thing about being a PNG tuber. It means I don't have to worry about appearances. Disconnect that, because if I don't disconnect my Bluetooth headphones from my phone, it's going to take the audio from my phone and override the computer. Because it does that every time. It's really annoying. So it should be alright. Why are you doing that? Can you hear it? This is definitely one of my favorite games. Could also hear Puppy. Yeah, she's a bit grumpy. I don't know why. You get lyrics to this. You've heard them. I've asked you to play it on stream once, but okay. We might turn up text speed. Skip unseen text, skip after choices, skip transitions. For now, we're not gonna touch those. Don't need that, I'm good. There's a cues. Self-voicing. On.
Self-voicing enabled. Self-voicing disabled.
No. I will be self-voicing. So, as you can see here, content warning, blood/gore/violence, and strong language. So there is swearing. So... this'll be fun. So excited! See that alright? Yeah. Did have to move the window a little bit, because it was right tucked up near the top, which would have left a huge black bar at the bottom. So shuffled it down just a bit for you guys. Welcome to Bad End Theatre. On this stage we shall be toying with fate. You'll make many choices, unlock darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. This is for you, King of Angst. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select which doll you like. Either the human doll or the demon doll. Let's be the human one. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Dennis. You try to make friends with the demon doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless! Good thing we're going through a tutorial if you know nothing about it then. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Attack it. You kill the human doll this time, and it doesn't resist. This is because you chose to play nice in the first round. Are the mechanics becoming clear? Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behaviour in advance. As you just saw, these behaviours will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theatre actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now, try turning the doll's behaviours on and off to see the different outcomes. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? You both attack each other at once and die together. End tutorial. I'm done. You understand how to play? Yeah? They're good. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. So here we have our 4 protagonists. We have the hero, the maiden, the underling, and the overlord. The overlord is in fact a woman, which is very cool. So, there's a total of 41 endings. And they each have their own amount. And also, if you click on their names, depending on what you choose to do, you can in fact see which endings you have or have not got. I learnt that from Mark. Which I'm very happy to see that, because I swear to God, if I had to individually figure this out, this is, essentially, this is the angst version of, like, In Space. This is like the pixel art version of In Space with Markiplier, but angsty. Even more angsty. I know there are some good endings in that one, but it's like In Space. With all, like, the different choices and stuff. I was very happy about that. Ciel, would you like to choose our first protagonist to play through as? Hero, maiden, underling, or overlord? Maiden. Cool. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you are fated to be captured by the overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't given the opportunity. Who knows? There's about 3 seconds of delay on my chat, by the way. Noted. Got it. There's no, like, quick time events in this. There's a bit of dramatic music, but it's not quick time, so I don't need, like, really speedy responses or anything, if I ask. You are in church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born in this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand it all better if you were to just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon, just to, you know, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Okay. So the trait itself is above the box. It's not a below thing. Okay. Let's... I'm gonna get myself killed either way. Let's introduce myself. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. How painful. The plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have just been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Consumed maiden end. Reset the stage. So now, she has the polite thing. Don't screw at the sight of the underling. Okay. Where are we gonna go next? I could do Mark's, like, really stupid thing that he did during the video, which is just do this for an absurd amount of time. He made, like, a really long and complicated riddle just to pick a first person. Let's go hero. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Oof. Don't. Nice guys. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden, but demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Yeah. Dutiful. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. They can't help but notice the demon blood from earlier you haven't had the chance to wipe off yet. Oops. You have no choice but to fight the army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. You make your way through the castle, fending off all the demons that stand in your way. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance. A convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can only see one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. Just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Goddamn. Let's go underling. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's not a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're going to go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree she's kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. They only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer us in a responsible direction. No, let's overthrow her. No, you're sick of this Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take the day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out to the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. You make your way along the path to a nearby human village. You encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Gobble. Nom nom. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you could live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought. You feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone had been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. People are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience screams grow louder. Applause. You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Performer underling end. Ooh, we did get multiple for this. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's that deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself that everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the highest standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? Tell them to get back to work. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy Overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick. Just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. You thought you told them that underling to do their job, not drag strangers into your room. Looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately you're a little interested in this guest, so you let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think the world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. I'm gonna be antisocial. Fuck off. You'd have to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Lesbians? Correct. You are absolutely correct. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not all what she expected them to be. This is why I wanted you to see it. Because they have lesbibubs. Tragic lesbibubs. You are glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. Gaydar is working perfectly, as per usual. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unarmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear our thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her all this lying to her all this. You've been lying to her this whole time, and you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time, it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who is rumoured to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything's explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Keep her. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before you can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. You take a step toward the maiden and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Selfish Overlord End. Oh, I got all three. Nice. Let's do one of everything and ooh, toxic lesbians. Toxic hero. Yay. Dutiful hero. You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and small guy. But life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You're told a maiden from your village has love our doomed Yuri. You're told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive in nearby demon lord's castle. Who even puts a castle right next to where an entire demon eye hangs out? You don't get it. Feel like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. Wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. Take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You'll face an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Cut through them! You gather your courage. This is what must be done to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself when you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord just as you suspected. For some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. There is no time to hesitate. Destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it, after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She is utterly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You're remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero. Ah! Gotta click my fucking knuckles. I don't suppose I can just do everything, can I? Nah. Let's just do this. Shout for hero to come save you. Oh, I skipped it. The demon is put off by your sudden shouting and asks you to keep it down. You apologize. You seem more confused and hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. You tell them you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens or do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen, and a hero would come to your rescue. I don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. It was just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. Which makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little, you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks what you're doing, what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. About halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden saving the Overlord? If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Selfless maiden ending B. Yes. She dated. She dated, man. I wanna do this. Do you just feel possessive? I wanna shout for hero to come save you. What? The hero busts into his room. Clothes are stained by dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon too. Oh, it skipped to the point that I hadn't seen. Oh, good. Oh, good. I didn't miss anything. I realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. Confused, the hero asks what's going on. Explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The Overlord has walked past the hero and out into the hall. She's wailing. You can only guess what kind of horrible scene he's left for her. The Overlord tears the hero apart in retaliation, watch silently, unable to scream. The Overlord, who had you just been getting along with so well, has killed another human right in front of you. It's clear now that you have been deceived by her sweet words. Demons are ruthless monsters after all. The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Captured Maiden, ending B. Grant them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere. Oh, so the skip button only lights up if you've done it before. Okay. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You wake to a knock at your door. I'm gonna stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. You notice the sounds of battle have started ringing through your castle halls. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underlings roughhousing. No big deal. There's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero busts into your room. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He's covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Do you think she needed rescuing? There's no one for this hero to save here. There's never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? You feel a sudden, sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Ah, that was careless of you. So this is how you die. Stabbed in the back by some cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. That's right, humans can't be trusted. I don't know if this is what they're capable of. You should have remembered that before letting one in. You watch as the hero takes the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he'd left in his wake. Captured by a demon, realize she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. Got 8 out of 41. Oof. I do wonder what happens if I just do all of these. And then... Seal, BB, you there? Love the little octopus. I'm gonna try and do everything at once. See if anything weird happens. Pick someone to go through. Or are we doing like a left to right situation? Or right to left if you want. Underling. Cool. Meow to you too, Floorbite. Or was that Flowerbite? Be out to you too. Or, I mean, I have my cat next to me. I could just wake her up and... Nah, I'm not gonna wake up my cat. That'd be mean. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but you're not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. There's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. Feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful. Oh yeah, I can skip this bit because I've seen it before. Let's not. Let's see what happens now. You tell your friends you were totally not serious about this whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but you don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. We're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. A change of atmosphere excites you. Okay, she has a favour to ask. You consider your options. Sure, fine. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would be even possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she is trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sound of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk! Avenge them. Who does this guy think he is? Coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac. What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's busy driving his sword into the guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kind of down. You liked that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing flesh from bone. Tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there is no pain. Only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army has won. You have earned your rest. Victorious underling. Oh, you can go back to the tutorial if you want. Okay, let's take a look, because I think I've missed some basic ones. Okay, so the red's what we haven't done. And begins the story. Okay, so we need to remove hungry. Although she needs to be antisocial. So don't have dutiful, but do have antisocial. Let's go for it. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude! You just got here. Obey her. I don't have the obedient thing opened yet. Need that. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks what you're doing. Do you know that Overlord's castle is like right there? Explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve! You're very upset this so-called hero would treat you this way, and leave in a huff. You return to the village alone. Everyone is very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You're loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatred of things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You're seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You're to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You've always lived honestly. Why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices of your family and neighbours, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so, so sorry. Executed Maiden End. I believe there's a hero's side to this. Be like a coward. On your way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back toward the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity. You ask the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is like right there? It's dangerous. The maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord, and it turns out the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. I'm gonna do trusting for now. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you. Even though her story is kind of hard to believe, you feel you should trust her. You tell her you're pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about demons all along. The townspeople must be informed of this immediately. Two of you return to the village. They had all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. But the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There's nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look at you for explanation. You politely inform them this isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens, or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. You aren't being subtle in how little they trust this maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd bursts into hushed whispers, but you're too busy thinking about what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town elder's voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds alright, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? I'm not sure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, I thought the two of you were together, and the two of you were in this together. Her actions have convinced the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her and her demon friends down immediately, but that doesn't sound like a very heroic task. Can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch up to her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden toward the Overlord's castle. The air becomes dark and thick as you enter deep into demon territory. Evil miasma? No, you realize it's just normal smoke. You see the maiden ahead, but she's stopped in her tracks. The Overlord's castle engulfed in flames. You'd only taken an eye off the maiden for a second, but she's already disappeared. Now you get close to the castle, but the smoke is so thick now. Think of turning back. The maiden might need your help, but you can barely see. She could be impossible to find. She could have been lying to you all along. Is this a trap? Would it be worth risking your life on that chance? Your legs feel heavy. No, going in there would be suicide. You'll return to the village. Tell them there was nothing you could do. It was too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. Gonna do that. And then do this. She can't be trusted. You aren't sure you should listen to this maiden. You've been taught your whole life that demons are evil. You ask if she's sure about this, but she gets very upset that you think she would lie to you. This maiden just can't catch a break, huh? No, she's the catalyst for everything. She is literally in the worst position in all of this. You ask if she's sure about this, but she gets very upset that you think she would lie to you. She storms off before you can say anything else. You decide to return to the village, certain that she must have been the kidnapped maiden you were sent to rescue. Well, that took care of itself. You take your time walking home. Job well done today, you think to yourself. You walk past the town square. You notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to win the stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. The smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. She seemed nice, though, you think. But evil comes in all forms, you reassure yourself. You decide to call it a day and return to your house. But you can't escape this sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Trusting, but from the maiden's perspective. Obey her. It's very surprised that demons don't seem to be as malicious as you were raised to believe. The two of you return to the village, hoping to communicate this to everyone. They'd all been so worried, and you were very glad that Hero brought you back. You quickly set the record straight. You weren't rescued because there was nothing to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers seemed confused and looked to the hero for an explanation. He tells them he only went into you on his way to the castle, and this isn't really his story to tell. He explained to them how you met the Overlord and that she's not actually interested in capturing maidens or other mean things like that. The villagers look again to the hero for confirmation. You feel a little miffed. Oh, so this was made by a British person then. You feel a little miffed that they seem to prefer his word over yours, but you don't say anything about it. The hero claims that he believes your story, but volunteers to go talk to the demons himself, just to make absolutely sure. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You hear words like trickery and demon sympathizer being thrown around, which makes you frown. You're pretty shocked that everyone's this hesitant to believe you. Does the hero even trust you? You aren't sure anymore. An armed man implores the hero to go speak with the Overlord immediately. He says you should be held prisoner and considered dangerous until the hero returns. Whilst your disbelief, the crowd agrees with him. Because of course you were conspiring with the demons, they can't afford to let their guard down. The whole village should be slaughtered by monsters. The hero wasn't saying anything. He'll be tied up and tossed into a cell at this rate. You're going to be held captive by anyone. It's not going to be the Overlord. It's going to be the Overlord, not your fellow countrymen. Oh, there's Resolute. Grab the hero and run. You boldly announce that you will accompany the hero to prove yourself. You'd rather risk what's out there instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. No one seems to know how to react. You grab the hero by the wrist and take off before anyone can stop you. But as you approach the castle, you notice something's gone terribly wrong. It appears to be on fire. Is the Overlord alright? You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. Oh, that still results in Selfless Maiden. Interesting. I'm gonna go again. Polite. Obedient. Leave on your own. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. You make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. As you get closer, you start to notice a tower of black smoke darkening the beautiful blue sky. The castle is engulfed in flames. What in God's name could have happened? Again, selfless maiden. Really? Selfless. Okay. Okay. So, Maiden needs to meet the Overlord. And stays. Then... So, not dutiful. I haven't done diplomatic! God, that's what it is. That's what I'm missing. I haven't done diplomatic. Ask if they'll let you in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the Maiden what's going on. The Maiden explains she was never actually captured, and she came here on her own volition. It was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. They ask her to return to town with you, to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You try to make conversation with the Maiden, but she seems pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her tracks. You turn your head to ask what the deal is. Oh, the Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. You can't help but feel relieved you got the Maiden out of there before you did, but she suddenly takes off towards the burning castle. Panic sets in and you follow to try and stop her. The smoke is too thick. You've already lost sight of her. What is she thinking? It's too dangerous to continue. You feel hopeless. You stand alone at the castle gates. Your body won't allow you to take another step forward. No. Going in there would be suicide. Return to the villagers and tell them there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The Maiden was claimed by the demons. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! Yeah, it's called Bad End Theatre. They're all bad ends. That's the point. I told you. It's a theatre of angst. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realise they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. Doomed by the narrative, final boss. Oh! We got Selfless Maiden. Nope. Okay, let's take a little... Actually, we haven't done a lot of Underling or Overlord. Let's do this. She's surprisingly cool with it. Nice! You set out on your adventure outside the castle. Hear her out. Sure. You seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask what the hell their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. I'm gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Ooh. Ooh. Nah. Nah, we're gonna get killed, fam. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle, you understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things end, how things like this end. It's a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Ouch. Yeah, let's go with this. Bleh. Yeah. Got them the day off. Sure. Tell her she better go home. You have to have all the conversations. Maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. You figure you may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest for very long. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. You're being usurped? You have zero foresight. What castle will they rule if this one burns? You don't want to believe your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those are grateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. I can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Oh. Sure. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. Say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'll be to end up on the wrong side of things. If this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figure they just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. It could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this, but you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better at it. You sneak into the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap like usual. It's almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Coward! You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room but find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them this is pretty fucked up and ask to be let out again. The Overlord stirs in her bed while your head is turned. Demons shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open to no avail. You're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. Don't do that. We're gonna go this route again. Let's kill the Overlord. Time to die! You figure the cleanest way to do this would be to dig your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She waits, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes in her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. That felt terrible. Remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room to find your friends waiting just outside. You look pleased. Only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you, as you had betrayed your overlord. And we'll get the same thing. Antisocial. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? I remember now. You gave this one a day off, and this is how he repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Damn! Got murked. Okay. Granted the day off. Polite. Brings the maiden to the castle. Roll to diplomatic, possessive. Ooh. Okay, so we need polite, disloyal, diplomatic, and possessive. Possessive, disloyal, polite, and diplomatic. Is that it? Is that it? Yeah. Polite, disloyal, diplomatic, and possessive. Disloyal. Yeah. Okay. Go for underling then. You're out. Disloyal. You sneak up to the Overlord's room. There's a couple of humans in there. And watch the scene unfold. Not sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. The Overlord, distracted, you figure this is a good chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. Nom Nom Nami has such good games. Yeah, I love this one. CL, how did you just give yourself a minor concussion? You know those hurt, right? You're not supposed to give yourself concussions. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. You see, I was minding my business. Okay. Oh, we could do this from every perspective. Play like a coward. Diplomatic. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and she came here of her own volition. The Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back. The Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like this. Tell the Overlord if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You're helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Minding my own business, the corner of this cabinet just attacked me. Oh dear. What a vicious cabinet. Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you want to go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Has she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. The Overlord stops, or rather, someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. I think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stop moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done, even though it was awful. You feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. Follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. I'm trying to add all the cables for my speakers. Ah. Okay. There. We don't have many Overlord endings. Right. Tyrant, hungry, and dutiful. Tyrant, hungry, and dutiful. Hungry, dutiful, and tyrant. For the Overlord. Tell them to get back to work. You wake to a huge commotion outside. The hero's shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell? The hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You've failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly and wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. Truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control gave you strength. You use your thoughts as you were swallowed by darkness. Bruh. Hungry. Disloyal. And trusting. So you need to be trusting.
Thanks for the follow.
Wow, that caught me off guard. Thank you for the follow, Floorlight. Good stretch. Let's watch more and more bad endings. Yes. Okay, so Overlord lets the underling have the day off. Allows the maiden to stay. And dutiful. Yeah. Wow. Dash a lot. Everything also includes the Overlord. Okay. Yeah, let's... Actually, hang on. You could probably fill in all of these. The underling's got the least amount. Okay, so... we need Tyrant, Disloyal, Hungry. Tyrant, Disloyal, and Hungry. Tyrant, Disloyal, and Hungry. Tyrant, Disloyal, Hungry. Returns to the castle. Dutiful. Dutiful. Oh yeah, because we need him to be cowardly. Disloyal. Gobble her up. Change your mind and leave. If you figure if people are this upset at just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you'd commit. Also, they might fight back. It probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling, after all. This little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle thinking you'll take a nap. Save yourself. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel quite guilty. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle. Until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any humans or demons. Where you'll live peacefully, alone, in some deep dark forest somewhere. Cool. We could do them in order though. Cause I could fit things. I could fill in all of his. I mean, very few, but I don't know. That's a lot of endings. Begin. Dutiful. Dutiful. Apologies. Double dutiful and apologies. Double dutiful and ask the maiden what's going on. She explains she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The overall moves past you and out the door. To see our army, lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. Well, I don't think... no. Apologize. This is all just a big misunderstanding. I hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really tried, but the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserved this. Okay. The Overlord is that set. Slay. Slay? I assume Resolute would do it. Dutiful? Dutiful. Destroy. End the Overlord. Okay, so not that. Is it a trait I don't have on her yet? It's probably a trait I don't have on her. Right. Meet, stay, dutiful, heroic. Meet, stay, dutiful, heroic. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. Protector, martyr. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. Never could have imagined this would be the way that you'd die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As the vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Let her stay for a while. The maiden shouts something behind you, and you turn just in time to see her throw herself between you and the hero's blade. It pierces her chest and she falls to the floor lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become ruler of the entire world. Bruh! My speakers are working. Yay! We love that. Galvus moment. Yeah. Dutiful. Dutiful. destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward to put an end to the evil Overlord, but your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes you in a vengeful rage. You parry and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. Your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. Look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. How would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late and nothing could have been done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Damn, bruh. Okay, so we have Marta. So we need to hear her out. This is the stage. Okay, so yeah, you're still missing something, and what are you missing? Beautiful. Okay. Hang on, we're gonna get one of the early endings. Ooh, we don't have these. Okay, cool. So let the day off, allowed to stay, and have him as dutiful. Stay for a while. The hero starts babbling in sincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing. You are far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You've had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you gain control, there is nothing left for the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. Damn, bro. Fleas, diplomatic, hungry. Ooh, you're missing one. I see you, buddy. Okay, so granted brings disloyal, antisocial, obedient, and trusting. Disloyal, antisocial, obedient, trusting. Disloyal, obedient, trusting. Did it say antisocial? Disloyal. Yeah, it did say antisocial. Tell her to quit yelling. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. But now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. Speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? Talk about fucking cracking the fourth wall, man. Jesus. Yeah, disloyal. Your friends turned to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. Toss her in the dungeon. We need captor. You and your friends seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. Leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. Now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden. Perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? Hero yells, prepare to face justice, and other such cliche hero lines before driving a sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favour. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Couldn't you tell this was a duel? You don't respond. You have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who managed to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places. You're the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. Interesting. Okay, so I now have that. I just need to find the Overlord's final thing, which seems to be their final, ending. Seems to be the Overlord's final ending. What, I mean... Do you have a favourite ending, or is it still too early to decide? Definitely too early. It's also the underling's more or less final ending as well. Also need the maiden. Oh, well, we are quite a few through. Let's try and get all the offshoots before we start doing the final ones on everyone's list. I also want to fill in all of these lines, because we don't have some of these. So let's go for this central one, because this is the furthest back. Flee, diplomatic, and hungry. Okay. Diplomatic. It's the hero. Flee, diplomatic. Ask me what's going on. Really? Oh, I didn't set him as hungry. Oopsies. Nope. No, I'm good. I'm good. Sorry. Flee. Diplomatique. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Is she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever. At least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, saying that she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero end. Ah. Suck it. Okay. Alright, let's see. Antisocial. Flee. Obedient. Obedient, you talk. Trusting. Disloyal captor. Okay, antisocial, obedient, trusting, and disloyal captor. Disloyal captor, antisocial, obedient, and trusting. Triple check that. Antisocial, yes. Obedient, yes. Trusting, and then 2 for the underling. Men SOH refusing to do a pointless genocide. Oh, so disappointing, man. Honestly, you could have just slain them anyway. That wouldn't have made much of a difference. Skip. I believe it's Flea. Believe her story. When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if you've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusts them, and in return they lock her up. So demons are truly evil beings after all. You demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you can rush to the castle alone. And rush to the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? Mood. The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Cool. Okay, so we want to erase everything. Flee, diplomatic. Everything is fine. Disloyal. Everything is fine and disloyal. Hang on. Yeah, you have another ending. Okay. Flee, diplomatic. Diplomatic and disloyal is what I'm saying. For hero. Yeah. Flee, diplomatic. Ask the maiden what's going on. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their overlord. Oh, that's multiple colours. We've mostly had single colours since now. They're talking about assassinating their overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle and you've no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you've just overheard. A demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance who shift the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. This Overlord is no better than her subjects. Grip your sword tightly. You have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety. You certainly will. A group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? Underling pounds on the door, upset it's been betrayed. You join in, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. Next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into the underling's chest and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You open the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body. You could no longer watch. You look to the maiden. She's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the Overlord and the underling's corpse, are all consumed by flames. Bro. Yeah, but we have one more ending to do. Do I have to go the other way? You need to be something else. Still missing one. Eh? But yeah, we still have a bunch of the other ones to get done. Is there any lines that you're missing? No, it's just that final one. The maiden, however, she has a lot that she needs to get done. Let's go this one. We need to clear it all. Yeah, you're missing one. You're missing a personality piece. Is that your final ending? Is that what happens to you? Okay. Alright. Well... Oh god, I've gotta sort the flipping blanket I have over my seat. Every time I shift, it shuffles itself further off the seat. So occasionally I'll have to flipping redo it, refold it and put it back on the chair, because otherwise I'm just going to be sitting on coldness. Because this chair does not retain heat. It is cold as fuck. And it's not even leather. It's just fabric. And it sucks. It's cold all the time. And considering the heating is shit right now, I do not want to freeze my ass off. Literally. Okay. Let's do maiden. Meat. So, can't have hungry. Maiden stays. Dutiful and heroic. Okay, so we just need dutiful and heroic. As a maiden. Skip. Chapter to come save you. Do nothing. Well, yeah. Witness day winning. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden ending. Cool. 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 Okay. Right. Then we're gonna get the ones up at the top here that we missed. So, need antisocial, obedient, and trusting. Antisocial, obedient, and trusting? Yeah. Antisocial, obedient, trusting, disloyal, and then we go click capture the next time around. Chat for hero. I did say obedient, right? Yes. Obedient. Leave on your own. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You immediately notice you overheard them. The underling you recognize from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. In that moment you regret having ever trusted the demons. You die instantly. And then we click capture, and we run it through again! Woohoo! You immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped possibly being thrown in a cell back in the village, only to be tossed in this awful place. This is terrible. Who's going to keep those demons from harming the Overlord? I hope she can fend for herself. You're not sure. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Did the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. Imprisoned maiden. Okay. Okay, so we have both of these that we need to fill in. So it's just a case of antisocial, obedient, trusting, and go resolute. Resolute and disloyal. Resolute and disloyal. Yeah, double check that. Antisocial, obedient, trusting, resolute, disloyal. Resolute and disloyal. Yes. Okay. Cool. Obedient. Resolute. Oh, okay. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her, but the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? Demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognized from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were part of this evil plot. They seemed so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she's very Overlord-like in this moment. A group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door and leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, even the hero wouldn't have stumbled into the situation. If you just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. You couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. Think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. But there is no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are now consumed by flames. Smash. Uh-huh. Disloyal, antisocial, obedient, interesting, resolute. So just do it from everyone's perspective. I'll tell it to quit yelling. Disloyal. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. The Overlord is pretty, I will not apologize. Fair. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. Instead they blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea and they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one that didn't have a choice here. They all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, and lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans, and the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish you'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You're forced into this mess. You're sure now they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. The Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. I don't think she's poly. Damn it! But I was so happy to have her join our polycule. Yeah. And then go this. Got the day off. Antisocial. The maiden suddenly bursts into your room, accompanied by a hero. She's trying frantically to communicate something to you, but she was still half asleep. Tell your group of demons is after your life. You still grasp the urgency of the situation. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was that first underling's plan. Everyone's shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would have let their ambition cloud their judgment and led them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very Overlord-like. I'm not sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die. Burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. Notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying they'll be dragged into this plot, knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Take retribution. You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He is wise not to interfere. They stop moving, but you keep digging, twisting your claws into them. It doesn't make you feel any better. The underling's corpse burns along with you and the two humans. That's most everyone's endings. Which one am I missing for you? Oh, I'm missing that one. Okay, yeah. We just need to trigger Merciful next time. For true ending, and then we can get everyone else's endings. And I believe there's letters, if I remember correctly. So, Overlord, Tyrant, Hungry, Disloyal, and Trusting. Tyrant, Hungry, Disloyal, Trusting. Tyrant, Hungry, Disloyal, and Trusting. For the Overlord. Okay. Tyrant. You're awakened by one of your underlings. They brought you a hero who inquires about a missing maiden. You tell him you don't know anything. Humans never really visit this place. He believes you and goes home to your surprise. You figure he might try to fight you, but you're glad to get back to your nap instead. Until you wake up to something completely unexpected. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You curse them, choking on your own blood. You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Really? Hungry. Disloyal and trusting. Tyrant? Hungry, disloyal, and trusting. Yeah, what the fuck? Tell the underling to go. Need, disloyal. Hero behavior, trusting. Tyrant. What am I doing wrong? Trusting. Disloyal. Okay, so maybe we need to go another way. Because clearly that's not working. So we need the maiden alive, so not hungry. So we need to go the other way. Tyrant, antisocial, obedient. Tyrant. Let's see if this changes anything. Tyrant, antisocial. Wake up to the sounds of battle. A hero is cutting through your army. As the Overlord, it's your job to take charge in these kinds of situations. You rush out to end this hero's pitiful existence. Vile demons, I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. I really don't get what he's going on about, but you engage regardless. The girl's gotta defend her people. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health, waiting for the others to make a move, and one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it, but can't they see this was a duel? They don't respond. You sense murderous intent. Your servant attacks you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. You've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Nice. Okay. And that's... Ooh! Yay! We get to do the final thing, guys. So we need to clear this. Then we need to start with the Overlord, because the Overlord needs Merciful to get everyone's true endings. So let's go the short route, shall we? No. Need Resolute. Yeah. So let them have the day off. Antisocial, obedient, trusting, and resolute. Trusting. Okay. Antisocial, obedient. Antisocial and obedient. Trusting, resolute, and disloyal. Trusting, resolute, and disloyal. The Overlord. That's about the day off. Did I put antisocial? Tell her to go home. Forgive them. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You all burn together. Very short. Overlord's true ending. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself? What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you are. This is bad end theatre. Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you were shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grow attached to my little cast. You start to realize their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theatre. My lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. Found lost letter 4. Ooh, unlock all the actors' behaviours. Nice. So we're gonna start from here. Yes. I don't remember which way I'm supposed to be going with this. Okay, so we're going... She needs to be resolute. Right, yes. Okay. Antisocial, obedient, trusting, and resolute. Yep, that's that. Resolute, disloyal. Okay. Flee and trust her. Okay. We're gonna flee like a coward, and then we're gonna trust her. So you stand there not sure what to do. The maiden announces she's going to prove her story to the village. She drags you along with her. She has much better odds with you around, so you don't object. Adventure waits. When you make it to the castle, you spy a group of suspicious demons hanging around near the entrance, and you can't help but overhear their conversation. Is she going to kill it as retribution? Continues to cry and make excuses, but the Overlord does nothing. To your surprise, she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? You guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. Hero's true end. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? I wonder what will happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair, or... Letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter 1. Okay, which way am I going with the midden? So, where's resolute? There's resolute. Okay. So leave resolute and you hear them. Leave and resolute. Okay. Obedient. Resolute. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Are you all burned together? I have noms. I think noms should be coming soon. I haven't heard anyone yell. I'll check my messages, see if anyone's texted me about lunch. Oh! I've got a lunch in 5. Fancy that. That's good. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter 2. Keep collecting bad endings for now. I haven't got the final one. Do not try to kick me out. Rude. Okay. Yep. Granted. Bring. So not hungry. Involve. Yeah. You don't have much to do toward the end. Granted the day off. Bring the maiden to the castle. And then dethrone the Overlord. Okay? Cool. Tell her to quit yelling. Disloyal. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Or maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden was crying, the hero was silent. All burn together. Underling's true end. Flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter 3. Reset the stage. My love, it just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this. It's unreasonable. Cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow. So I decided to write. And I'll keep writing. Until the day you find me once more. And then, Maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Forever yours, Tragedy. My love, I've finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Yes, that's right, I've opened up my very own theatre. You'll be so proud. If you could only see it. I know how much it would have meant to you, to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought, if my theatre could become world famous, then maybe you just might hear of it. Wherever you are. Forever yours, Tragedy. My love, I've been feeling a little depressed lately. Many patrons have come to my theatre, but none so far have stayed to experience every tale in its entirety. The critics haven't exactly been kind, but I understand, my stories aren't exactly crowd pleasers. Despite that, you always listen to the very end. I'm grateful for that. Hope to see you again soon. Forever yours, Tragedy. My love, do you remember when we first met? I had just finished one of my scripts, one I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should those poor fools have to die? It was so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications, and yet you managed to convince me. It really would have been better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look back fondly on that day. Even now, I wonder if, somewhere, you're thinking of it too. Forever yours, Tragedy. Shout. Obedient. Resolute. It can't end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You've decided to find a way to save everyone. By retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? There's nothing you can do by acting from within their story. Maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. You are. You are on fire, on fire, on fire, on fire. You're just burning, man. You boldly insert yourself into the story. Use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. Didn't know you could do that. But what's going on here? Take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You. Why are you pitch black? I feel this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. I guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? I've come to save you! Explain to the group that you've witnessed their many terrible intertwining fates, and now you're searching for a good ending. Of course, this makes no sense to any of them, only the maiden understands your compassion. Their prayers have been answered. You must be a god? No, you're merely the player. If there's any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now, enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How per se. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way into the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy, if you like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each one of them to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You're alone in the darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theatre, though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. Want to see something new? Are you trying to say my bad endings have gone out of style? You have some nerve. You think defeating me might be the only way to see a better ending? That's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight, God! Oh dear Lord, this is the Hollow Knight of this game. It's the sun in Hollow Knight. You're fighting God. Or a Kirby. Kirby seems to fight God in every game. He just wants cake and ends up fighting this multi-dimensional being. It's ridiculous. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. Defend. Try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, was that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Wait, let me try again. Try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world after all. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold, my beautifully tragic tales. And seeing them all again make your heart ache. Witness all 41 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Must be as much of a masochist as me. Believe me, there was a pause in Mark's playthrough at this point. I commend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place in your heart. They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. That's right, you came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Summon. You find the hero in his home hunched over a sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? Explain that. No, you're not a demon. How can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft my own hero gear. He sets pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He's overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. Drawing for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. Can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. It's a shame our little character doesn't get an outfit after that. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero's arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer! I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Ow. Summon. Never to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing. She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveller? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveller. Well, maybe you are in a sense. You've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon. I was hoping I would meet one today. I think of all the terrible things hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of the story, after all. My role as the maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so you ask what it is she really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. A true ending for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Ow. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're pretty weird looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding on their story right now. You tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. You need to download this app called Lesbian Tinder. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life. You never get bashed around or picked on. You think of the underlings' friends who have bullied them into an assassination plot, only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true ending for the underlings suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle. The underling, You must be desperate to call such an unreliable ally. Huh, if I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Okay. I just got the message that lunch is ready. So, we have two choices. I can get the Overlord now, and then I go on break. Or I can just go on break now, and then come back and then get the Overlord. Because there's still quite a bit left to do. Go eat. Alright then. I will leave you with this music. And I will go get noms. I'll be back as quick as I can. Back, y'all. Okay. So you're discussing what I play. Yeah, I do play a variety of games, and quick correction, CL. I haven't finished the entire Ace Attorney series. I've finished the first and second game, and I'm going to be taking a long break until I reach the third. So, because that takes so much talking. I mean, this one does as well. My throat has been hurting as well. Oh my, that's fine. But yeah, we haven't finished the third one yet. I've only done the first 2 games. I tend to take a couple of streams, like a couple of weeks between the Ace Attorney games, just because of how much it's... You just wish us to banish us from the courtroom. Don't start the rules card stuff again. Not in this stream. Let's summon the Overlord, shall we? You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained the torches on the walls. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that no, you're not here to serve her, it's more like you've come to do her a favour. That's why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding our demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone to have a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well. I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is tragedy. As you can see, the Overlord is actively protecting the maiden. That's very cute. And Cammy's going nuts. Love the dog, but she is so grumpy sometimes. And she's not even middle-aged. She's only 5. Actually, technically 5 is somewhat middle-aged in dog years. Ah, you brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Okay, so I was thinking about this while I was having lunch. And there's action feelings, and then there's emotion feelings. So my assumption would be willpower. The reign of terror ends here tragedy. I refuse to give in. Hero used his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Hope. Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Tenacity. Knock me down a notch, come back stronger. The underling uses their tenacity to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. And ambition. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim towards your best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. You know you can't, right? Like, there will always be tragedy in the world. You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry, I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you, most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theatre did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Were they able to do it, I wonder? Yeah, I'm satisfied. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Mark said no. Mark said no, and it was like, oh. Well, shit, alright. And you can't redo. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. My favorite song. I love this song so much. Take your seats, everyone. Welcome to Ride and Read. On the curtains close. Come away stronger, or maybe you'll break. Misery for all eternity. I'm worth of suffering. Still felt this warmth from the in the street, thinking of your face, for all your tragedies. I'll write happy endings into all our suffering. And this dream, my darling. Fucking love that song. So good. I love it so much. Something's missing. Oh, you're still here. The curtain is closed for the final time. I'm shutting down my theatre. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell after all. Ask tragedy story. Me? You'd like to know why I started this theatre? Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. You gently raise your fingers to the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece it falls apart in your hands, revealing... I should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. You can't help but compare my face to the maiden's. I'm not her, but it's not like she isn't me, necessarily. That's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear not another ending, but the truth? Tell me. Alright, one last story. You may already know this, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there are no such things as demons, or even heroes, really. There was a girl eager to set out to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She met someone. Another girl. Running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord. The two were inseparable, and for a time everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve of their relationship. Hard is the reality for many. This pair was no different. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart. We used to like the types of stories where love conquers all. The strength of your love will push through any hardship, and everything is okay in the end. I lost her. And then I started this theatre. Got hit with the long distance nerf. A story. Huh? I was hoping to find you. It's you. It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I was about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I could say the same to you. I know I could never resist giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I would be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Now, truly, everyone can live happily ever after. Tragedies end. Well, we love winning. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Is that everything? It should be. Ooh! I missed 2 achievements. Total reset. Let's take it again from the top. And... oh! Okay, so fail the boss battle and start all over again. I wonder... there's nothing more to see, my love, but if you'd like to reset, if you really want to experience everything all over again, I'm happy to oblige. Shall we begin the resetting process? Never mind. It's so fickle. Let me know if you change your mind. Ah, I'd have to go through it. We're going for all achievements. I would have to play the entire game through again. Hero song, maiden song, your song, their song. Oh, silence, random. True version. Well, we can reset it at least. Yep, we really have to go through the whole game again. Nothing more to see. Log. Secret truth, love, and eternal happiness. Let's reset. There are 2 options. Keep some of your progress and reset to before you started the true ending. There we go! Or you can erase all of your progress and replay the game as if it's your very first time. You'll have to collect everything all over again. Can't take this back, so choose carefully. Reset to before the true ending. Okay. So we need to do Maiden. Oh, didn't click Resolute. Right. She needs to be antisocial, obedient, trusting, resolute, disloyal, and merciful. Antisocial, merciful, disloyal, obedient, resolute, and trusting. Obedient. Resolute. Can't end like this. Hi guys! You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be a god? No, simply the player. And frankly, you should have never come to a place called Bad and Theatre. How have we been over this? You think defeating me might be the only way to see a better ending? That's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God again. Okay. Justice applies to you too, does it not? Will you pay for your misdeeds? Kindness. The men trust to appeal to tragedy with kindness. So naive. I'll balance your kindness with my cruelty. The underling tries to evade tragedy through mischievous means. So much fun. Would you like a reminder of where that mischief will lead you? Brutality. The Overlord tries to fight tragedy with sheer brutality. Oh, has violence really been working out for you so far? I'll show you my own brutality. Hero tries to use his belief in justice to fight against tragedy. That justice applies to you too, does it not? Will you pay for your own misdeeds? So we literally just have to go through until we lose. Your HP has run out. You are overcome by tragedy. If you wish to challenge me again, collect more bad endings. You'll be able to reach this pass again through the Maiden's true ending. I'll be waiting. Your bad end. There we go! Resolute, trusting, loyal, and social merciful. Did I reset to that? So you're back. Are you ready to challenge me once more? I will find my true ending. And this time I get to show you what Mark picked. Because following Mark's playthrough of this was very funny. I heard tragedy. Let's collect more bad endings. Yeah. Tenacity. And ambition. There we go. Tragedy. You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. No. This is what Markiplier picked. Well, I did my best. Happy endings should not always come easily. The music just stops dead. It's like, oh, okay. Ow. Yes. Something's missing. And then we reset fully. Let's reset. We total reset. Your progress is completely reset. Does this count as a bad ending? Well, just in case. Total reset end. And there we go. That's all 48 achievements. I love this game. Can't believe this game added me. It even got my haircuts. Yeah. I unfortunately don't have the hair that the Overlord does anymore. I haven't had hair like that in years. Neither have I. Fair. I don't miss it. I meant tragedy. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware you meant tragedy. I do know what you look like, hun. One day I'm going to have hair like Overlord. I wish you the best of luck with that. I had hair that kind of length a couple years ago, and I was horrific with its maintenance. Which is why my hair is like this now. But my PNG tuber is more or less a cartoonishly accurate representation of what I actually look like. So my hair does actually look like this. But yeah. I tried having long hair for a couple of years and it just... no. I had like a fist-sized knot like at the base of my skull because I would only drag my hairbrush over like the top and I could not give less of a shit. Used to have long ass hair and took such good care of it. I did not take care of my hair. I got threatened on multiple occasions for my dad to cut off my hair. He said on multiple occasions with my long hair if I didn't start taking care of it he was going to shave it all off. So I eventually beat him to the punch. And now I've kind of grown out the top bit and I'm quite happy with it. I will admit when I initially got it cut like military style short, not buzz, just really short on the sides and a little longer on the top. When I got it cut military style, I did miss having a ponytail, admittedly. I did miss that part of it, so I'm glad I have longer hair which I can now do that with. Although the top of my head looks flat if I pull it into a ponytail. It's very funny. 17 years of being high maintenance. Yeah. I mean, I was mistreating my hair for a couple of years before I got it lopped off. Or at least a couple of months at minimum. I was not good at taking care of my hair at that time. Which is a shame. It was nice hair. It just wasn't for me. Now I'm quite comfortable with the haircut I have, and I've been having it like this for a couple of years. It's long enough and light enough that I can deal with it, because I have dummy thick hair. Dummy thick with 2 C's. Very thick hair. Get it from mum. But, because of that, it made brushing my hair all the more difficult, especially with drying it as well. God, drying it with a hairdryer took so fucking long. Holy shit. Took me like 30 minutes to get all of my hair dry. 35, 40 minutes. I think I took an hour at one point, I don't remember. But it took a long time. Now it takes me like 5-10 minutes at most, depending on how distracted I am. It's easy. But I've got like 3/4 of my hair lopped off. It's like buzzed on the sides. So I don't have that issue anymore, and my hair is easily brushable. One of my sisters does have the length of hair that I used to have, but her hair is a lot thinner. It's not as dummy thick as mine was. So hers just goes all over the place no matter how much she brushes it. It's like thread versus wool kind of thing. It's like one is obviously a lot thinner than the other. But yeah. Oh man. You didn't catch it. Boo. Rigged. But yeah. Finally managed to play Bad End Theatre. And it's been weeks in the making. I'm very glad I got to play that on the stream. All of you say thank you to CL. CL is the one who bought me the game on Steam for me to play. And that's why I wanted them here in chat. I wanted them to be able to see this game. Because I really loved watching Markiplier play it. I really enjoyed that playthrough. I've watched it a couple of times. Very good for background noise as well. And I really wanted to play it myself. Even though I knew how it was all gonna end, I still wanted to play it. But to be fair, it was commission payments. Yeah, it was. CL commissioned me to make a PNG tuber for them, and they bought it for me as repayment. Speaking of which, I do have another commission that I need to get a wiggle on with. I do have the notes for it next to me, so since I have not much else to do, I'll probably go ahead with that. Though I prefer piracy quite a bit. Yeah. I don't ask for CL to pay me, by the way. I'm more than happy to just do the stuff itself because they're my partner and I love them to bits. I'm happy to do it for free. But they insisted on giving me payment. So, I should probably get started on that other commission at some point. Which is a bunch of new outfits. Like me. Unfortunately, that is the last stream I'll get to do during spooky months, so I only got to use this for 2 streams because of other things. So shame. But we'll be back to normal layout next time. And I will spin the wheel to see what outfit I'll be wearing for next time, like I usually do. 1 of 10. Oh, and she's gone to the windowsill. Hope has decided that my bed is not good enough. She needs to sit on the windowsill in broad sunlight. Love the outfit swaps. I do like that I now have outfit swaps. Like, I don't mind keeping the same thing on every single time. But at the same time, it's nice to have a change. It's fun to have a little difference. Of course, like, the bright yellow hoodie is the usual outfit that I have. But I do like all the others. Of course I like all the others. I made them, and I wouldn't have made them if I didn't like them. So. I will figure out what to do for next stream. Because now that we've done Bad End Theatre, that was the only one I had planned for a while. So now I've got to figure out what I might do next. Although, I do have the notebook. Yeah. Where were we with the last study stream? God, that was back in April! Oh shit! Maybe we'll do Stardew next time. I don't remember what I was doing. Sprinklers are made and some are finished. Okay, so we'd be starting in the first week of autumn/fall. harsh manual install gameplay. So, right, yes. Placing the sprinklers and paths. Plant crops. Clean farm. Oh! We got an iridium meteorite last time. Oh, so we gotta clear that off as well. So probably do that next time then. There's a couple reoccurring games like Stardew. Although I am vaguely excited about other games. But, you know, there's always the issue of I'm playing on a laptop that's not a gaming laptop. It's just a generic ass laptop. So, I have a lot of games that I would like to play, but, well, not a lot of space or CPU power to be able to play them. Shame. Anyway, that was Bad End Theatre. I'm very happy I got to play that finally. It's a very good game, and I do love the music. The music is excellent. It was fun. It was excellent. Alright. Well, I hope you all have a good day, week, month, and I will see you all in the next stream.